Hey everyone, it's Jason Mann, founder of Strategic Organizing, where we teach you how to organize new members and help you grow your union. I've put up a series of training videos which I'm going to share with you over the next few days. And in this training video, I'm going to discuss how do you put together a strategic organizing plan for your union. A strategic organizing plan takes all of the possible tactics that you have and puts them into a framework. Now, most organizing plans have 6 basic parts. Your plan should include, number 1, goals and benchmarks, 2, targeting, 3, strategic campaigns, 4, lead generation, 5, involving members, and 6, how to create a team that's going to win in the long run. Now, if I've never had the opportunity to meet you, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I've spent a lot of time looking at research and talking to and interviewing union organizers that have had a lot of success in organizing to figure out exactly what unions that are succeeding are doing right to organize new members. So I'm obsessed with finding out what are the best practices that are working right now, and equally, what isn't working. Now, I don't think that there's any magic bullets to organizing, but I do think that we could start off by using best practices. Now, I've also had the honor of working with many union locals and actually implementing some of these best practices into their union. I've had the opportunity to work with locals of SEIU, UFCW, Machinists, IBW, Unite Here, to name a few. Now, in this video where we're discussing creating a union organizing plan, if you've ever seen one of my speeches before, or if you subscribe to my monthly video series, you've probably heard me talking about an organizing plan before, and the reason is that it's so foundational to everything that we do. You wouldn't start a business without a business plan. A marketing company wouldn't start an advertising campaign without a marketing plan. You wouldn't run for office without some sort of election plan. And yet it's really surprising how many unions are out there going day to day without any sort of long-term vision of exactly how they're going to achieve their goals. Now, the first part of a good union organizing plan is having goals and benchmarks. How do you define success? What are your goals that you're looking to achieve? Are you looking to maintain your current membership? Are you looking to increase your membership by 20%? Are you looking to double your membership? And if so, over what sort of a time period? So the goals are important because it helps set a direction and inspire people for where you want to go. Benchmarks are a critical part of this first part about goals and benchmarking because, in particular, if you're setting a longer plan for yourself, you need a way to evaluate, are you successful? Are you heading on the right direction so far? Your organizing plan isn't something that you're going to write once and then put in your desk and never look at again. Your organizing plan should be refined over time based on what's working and what isn't working, and you should set out some benchmarks ahead of time so you have an idea if you're on the right path. The second element you're going to need in your plan is targeting. Now, targets are both who you want, and you also need to establish who you don't want. So targeting it gives you focus. It allows you to focus all of your resources on the areas in which you're likely to make the most gain and to avoid chasing after leads which may not be that useful. Now, this is something that's really new for a lot of unions, in particular unions that haven't had a lot of success with organizing because they think, you know what, we already organize so few members that if somebody comes to us and wants us to organize their workplace, well, we're pretty desperate, we have to take that lead. And while I agree that everyone should have a union, if we looked at unions that are successful are spending about $1,000 per member for everyone that they successfully bring into the union. And if you look at that cost, we have to think very carefully about where we place our resources, and chasing hot shops that perhaps aren't the best target for your union won't get you there. You need some sort of objective criteria to meet. Again, everyone should have a union. Now our question is, how do we do that the fastest? What's the plan which allows us to get there the best? Having targets also lets your members know exactly who it is that you're looking to organize so that they know what types of leads to refer to you, and it also lets servicing staff have a good idea of what types of things you're looking for, and it allows your organizing staff over time to build up a base of knowledge in some key employers and some key industries. Target selection is critical to meeting your organizing goals. There's a few things that you should look at when deciding what makes a good target. You should think of where you have bargaining power now? Would you have bargaining power in this target industry? I mean, bargaining power and having leverage is critical because leverage means that you can negotiate good contracts, and good contracts mean more organizing. Your targets should be set up so that they're kind of a virtuous cycle where one organizing victory builds upon another. Poor targeting means, you organize one group of people that's fairly unrelated to the rest, so they're not really a net benefit to your union. But if you set up your targeting so you have a positive cycle, each win will build on itself. You should consider where your union already has footholds. Where can you expand and build your bargaining power? You should consider what types of targets are likely to excite and mobilize your membership. You should look at campaigns that are winnable, and you should look at what the psychological impact of organizing certain targets would have on your industry. In particular, going after some of the biggest and best known names in your industry will it'll change the idea of what's possible. That if it's possible for this company to join a union, then it's possible for my company. The third section of your organizing plan are your strategic campaigns. Now, strategic campaigns are the campaigns which build the most power for your union. They also tend to be the hardest to organize. They're generally long-term targets that you're going to put in a lot of work at first. You might not see results in the first year or two, but after time, you'll start to see massive results. With strategic targets, it's important that you have something that you're doing every single day to bring you closer to organizing that strategic target. I mean, you might want to have somebody assigned specifically to organize one of your strategic targets. You might want to have specific websites or specific material. You might want to have specific databases that you're working to build on a particular employer. One mistake unions make in this section in picking their strategic targets is they pick far too many. Having 10 priorities or having 20 priorities is the same thing as having no priorities. At most, you should have 2 to 3 strategic targets, depending on what industry you're in. And a good way to look at which targets are strategic is you should look at the list of targets that you made, put them into order, rank them, and probably your top 2 or 3 are the strategic targets for your union. The fourth element of a union organizing plan is your plan for lead generation. What are you doing every single day to make your phone ring? Now this section is interesting because in interviewing unions that are successful, one problem that I found with unions that were successful is sometimes they became a victim of their own success. When they were always busy, if they always had campaigns to work on, they stopped looking for new campaigns, which really limited the amount of people that they were able to bring into their union and the amount of power that they were able to build for their union and for their existing members. So emphasizing this again, that one of the problems with unions who are successful is their own success. In your lead generation part of your plan, you should make a list of what tactics are working right now and really evaluate what you plan on doing in the future. Maybe you should focus your time on the tactics that have the biggest success in bringing new leads into your union. You should measure exactly how effective each of these tactics are, and you should establish goals and benchmarks for lead generation so you know how you're doing and if you need to refine your plan at all. One of the keys to organizing is to have so many leads that you can select the leads that are the best for your union. Again, thinking that it costs about $1,000 on average to bring a new worker into your union and you have limited resources, you want to be able to focus your time on areas where you have leverage, and the best way to ensure that you're focusing your time best is to have so many leads that you can always pick the best ones. The fifth element of your union organizing plan is a plan to involve your members. Now, this is often overlooked because organizing is often treated as the role of the union organizer or the union organizing department. But the reality is that organizing isn't a department, it's a task of the union. And it's a task that's never going to be completed by the limited number of people who work in your organizing department. Your members are your biggest asset when it comes to organizing. They have a better idea of what's out there in the industry than you ever would. They have deep links with members who work in the non-union sector. So your plan should address, how do you go about getting members excited about organizing? How do you work to bring members involved into organizing drives? How do you help them and to show them what type of referrals that you're looking for? And how do you show your membership the importance of organizing to their own paychecks? Because ultimately, organizing has to be about building power for existing members if you're going to get the political support to undertake an aggressive organizing plan. The sixth and final element of your organizing plan is your organizing team. And you should have a specific plan and strategy in place for how you build your team. You should be respectful of the diversity of your team, both in terms of, is your team representative of the workplaces and the workforce that you're trying to organize? You should think of a diversity of skills, that you don't need a whole bunch of organizers that have all of the same skills. Maybe some organizers are really good at communications, others have a lot of skills with online organizing. Some of your organizers will have skills with the legal system. You should look at how to build a variety of skills that you can all work together with. So good luck with writing your strategic organizing plan. The 6 points that your plan should cover again are goals and benchmarking, targeting, strategic campaigns, lead generation, membership involvement, and team building. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'm going to be releasing a training video in another few days, so if you leave a comment below, I'll make sure to let you know by Facebook when the next training video is coming out. Also, I'd be thrilled for any comments that you could leave me about the video. It's great to know who's watching the video and what they like about the video. You should know I read all of these comments personally, and it's really appreciated. So I'll see you in a couple of days with a new video.